Welcome to The Experience Today, where we explore the fascinating intersections of psychology, the human experience, and American politics.
To The Experience Today, I'm your host, that sometimes is not the most, Mr. Roderick Threets, but I am here with the hostess with the mostest, as always. Miss Valerie Zan, what's going on? How you doing? How was your weekend, first of all? Man, it's almost right.
I'm just still recuperating from the 3F. Florida froze in February, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know that's right.
Hey, we got some trouble in Texas. Jasmine Crockett,
Mm-hmm.
she is losing her race and accusing us of doing it.
I was gonna check in on that too while we're on the show. Matter of fact, while we're here, I'm gonna while I'm here, we're gonna pull up on that. Hold on a second.
They're saying they can't hear me.
That's odd. Hold on a second. Okay, they should be able to hear you. No, that's weird.
This should be okay?
Yeah, it should be fine. That was
Okay,
weird.
good.
Okay, but I'm gonna look at it right now.
Yeah,
The Texas.
Jasmine is screaming that we're stealing the votes.
Oh my God. How are we
Oh
stealing the
my
votes
God.
in a primary? That's the crazy part. The crazy part is
Oh,
he's facing another Democrat. Like,
not
is
only,
James Tallarico stealing the steal?
yeah, I'm just having a blast watching this because Bannon is in Texas and he's covering this whole election.
Uh-huh.
And they gave the Democrats an extra 2 hours. And I mean, how come the Republicans didn't step forward and say, we want another 2 hours as well? They didn't say anything. Those meek bastards, they just sat there and just let it. They already caught a guy, parked his car in front of the hotel there where Ken Paxton's election team was, and they found like all these bullets and loaded guns and crap sitting in the car. They arrested him. I mean, if you're going to do
Wow.
something, do you just sit there and park your car right in front of the place? The level of stupidity that we're hearing and watching is above and beyond.
Right. So right now, right now,
Yeah.
James Tallarico
Yeah.
is leading by, it just changed again. Jasmine Crockett just gained 0.1%, but she's down 78,000 votes.
Yeah, and they got in, I think we're close to 60% of the votes.
45% according to.
Oh, okay, that might be the whole state, and I just saw like a county or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the Republicans, I'm not surprised that Wesley Hunt's at the bottom of this list.
Well, I hope Ken Paxton is at the top then.
No,
know?
Cornyn is running. Cornyn is leading it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, everybody's trying their best, you know, to save this country. If they don't want to be saved, oh well.
Well, the thing is Wesley Hunt is known right around Houston, right? And that
Yeah.
because that's where he's from. So I expect the popularity. Even if there's Austin, let me find Houston. No, I don't want Uvalde County. I need Harris County.
There's also North Carolina tonight. So.
North Carolina tonight too. Yeah, I'll look at those. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not shocked that Wesley Hunt's at the back of the pack on that one. With Kim Paxton being, been the AG for what 8 years now, 2 terms. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's got
And they
name there,
impeached him and they put him through. And I think people are just like, I don't want any more of this. And that's the
Right.
only reason they don't vote for someone. So, I guess going forward, that will be a concept for people that don't pay attention. I just don't want to hear any more of this.
Right. I
also-
want to check North Carolina too while we're here too before we get.
Yeah,
into-
they also don't want to hear the bitching and complaining of like a Jasmine Crockett. They don't want to be victims. People are tired of being told they're victims. I mean, everybody wants to take their own ability to function on this planet anymore.
Right.
So that's a good thing. Look, we're not gonna win across the board anything at any time right now. It's just then we end up having a vote.
Right.
We're building a red wall, so to speak. We're building it, and this is a process, and everything is not going to go our way. We're not going to tumble into winning these elections overall.
No.
It's the fight. We're in the fight. We're in a war.
Yeah. So it looks like what are their North Carolina. So it looks like Roy Cooper won the primary for the Senate seat.
In
former-
Carolina?
The former governor. Former governor won the Senate seat. And Michael Whatley won he won the North Carolina primary, Republican side.
Oh, good.
So it'll be
Good, because
it'll be
he was,
Whatley versus
Republican Party. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm distracted because I'm watching as well.
No,
I'm
no,
on,
no, no. You're fine. You're fine.
Real America's Voice.
So Arkansas,
know-
Arkansas had a governor's race today.
Yes, they
oh,
did.
that's it. Yep,
they
that's
had a
right.
primary. Yep.
Yep. Sarah didn't get a challenger, so she won automatically.
Okay, she's it. That's okay. That's good.
Yep. Yeah, we're good with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She's
sure.
she's been a great governor. And then the other Texas. Wait, Texas governor. Who's? Okay, Abbott. Yeah, he won the primary.
I am really tired of Abbott. Really. Ugh. I mean, that man just doesn't have a set of balls. My opinion. I've never liked him. I just would love to see Texas have a really strong leader. But I guess we're all just going to have to do it.
That's right. So we're gonna shift on over and do the things like we always do. So
Yeah.
what? Let me know your thoughts on
Proposition 10 was on the docket tonight in Texas. 95% voted to ban Sharia law.
Yep, good. That's why most of them
And-
turned out. Yep.
Yep. And I don't know how far reality goes along with banning something. I've become weary of just banning and letters and impeachments and it's like, okay, do you know that the people in Iran were not spectacularly happy in 1979 either? And through the 47 years, of being stuck with these monstrous leaders. I believe they had two, and their names almost sounded the same to me. I was looking at it. I mean, I know Khomeini is now, but there was another one that was named a very close name. And be that as it may, there have been eruptions and people fighting, and as it goes, they changed things in the constitution of Iran to fit their needs. We've been looking at that for how many years? 100.
At least, yeah.
I mean, yeah, these people come in and they take over, and they're a military operation. Hello, Democrat Party. I really see them now as a military operation. You know,
Yeah, you
I don't
can
see
almost
them
call
as
them
a,
that. Yeah, you can almost call them that.
yeah. I mean, starting with the realities of Obama and shipping how many plane loads of cash over to Iran.
Mm-hmm.
If that wasn't a marker, if that wasn't an opportunity to have a real reality check of who this guy was, I mean,
Right.
if you look at some of Obama's speeches and Khomeini's speeches and Mamdani's speeches,
They're all kind of similar, huh? Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're all touting like the Muslim, you know, ideology, and it's time to make Muslims be appreciated
Mm-hmm.
in the United States of America. Yeah, you know, now that we see what's happening all over the world, of course, we bring it right back in to us here. This is what the fight is really about. Although, I think what just took place in our Operation Fury, what's the first word?
Epic
Yeah.
Fury.
Epic Fury, yeah. No, is that it?
Mm-hmm. Epic Fury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that we can see clearly what the president was doing by incorporating all these Arab countries into his board of peace, into his realm of being
Abraham Accords.
Yes. And you know, business relationships and all of it. You look at now that Iran is now bombing their neighbors, and now they're standing up and saying, oh no, oh no, we're going to fight you bastards too. So now they are surrounded by people who want no part of them. This is kind of brilliant. I mean, you know, you got to step back and look at this and say, well, there really is a chessboard here. This is one hell of a military operation. And I'm not saying that everything is planned out and will go accordingly. Things go astray, and then you got to shift a gear and make another move. You know, it's like anything in life.
Right.
Like
That's right.
basic relationships in life, you know? You marry the wrong person, you do the wrong thing, you make decisions in your life, business decisions, all kind of decisions, and you say, that one didn't work. Got to flip and do something different. Same thing in this war, in any war, Yeah. So I look at American women and what has taken place over the past. When did Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan, they kind of started doing their stuff in the 60s, right?
Yes.
The really big women's liberation movements started in the 60s. Yeah. And, you know, when I was in college, I did take some women's studies courses. So I ended up like reading some of their stuff and, you know, very empowering. I'm not putting it down at all. It was very empowering. And I think it moved a lot of women into fantastic positions in the business world and the academic world. unfortunately, a lot of them became what they call awfuls, these liberated Democrat women. They got very loud and very emboldened and started putting men down to a point where men became more feminized. I mean, that's like a very brief look at it.
Right.
And you can just picture in your mind that over on the other side of the ocean were these very male-oriented, a lot of positives. The Iranian people are wonderful people, and I've met many in my life. They're very devoted to family. They're very devoted to their businesses. They're very smart people, but they got taken over by a terrorist group of leaders. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
And that terrorist group of leaders probably looked at American women and said, we're taking control of this crap right now. This is my interpretation. I think there was a lot of fear in the men that their women, who were free, their women were as free as we are. They were in colleges. They were, going shoe shopping. They were, hanging out with each other and doing their thing just like we did. I think there was a lot of fear and a need to control what had become a very big movement in the United States. Not to mention they didn't particularly like us, but they didn't like us. They didn't like Britain. So they decided they were going to take those countries over as well. And here we are trying to get taken over. So I was, I get very educated when I start doing material for this show. I think I know everything, and then I get led down these very interesting paths. Today there was an article in the American Thinker about Democrat females. And I'm like, what part of this haven't I figured out yet? Of course, the media is totally up in this and defending, white female, urban, liberal women. So what I didn't realize was that there's this great wealth transfer that happens in many of these families from their daddies to their daughters or their wives, whatever women were legally connected to them. And so they haven't earned the money that their husbands or fathers had earned. And consequently, their spending of the money becomes a bit more frivolous, as you can imagine. You can even look at some pop stars who that happened to. They got too young, they got given all this money. They probably earned it with record recordings and sports and whatever, and they don't quite know what to do with the money or how to be with it in a way that their parents or their elders did. We have a lot of billionaires that give money to good causes and do great things in their lives, and they just know. There's a knowledge that goes along with a slower earning process than just all of a sudden getting millions and millions and millions of dollars dumped in your lap. It sounds like everybody thinks they want that, but it's actually quite challenging. So I'm reading here that they inherited their wealth, which enabled them to sanctimoniously spout feel-good principles of equality without being subjected to the harsh realities of daily life. Everyone else will be made equally poor. Indeed, rich liberal women are a stalwart supporter base for Mamdani. How is that working out? It will be very interesting to see this evolve in New York. And I know a lot of women that fit right into that category. So the leftists, I can't speak tonight. The leftists love the concept of transferring wealth, especially when it will go to non-productive female heirs. Even James Carville, now we all know James Carville, he's a real pain in the ass.
He's a nut job.
He's a whack job. Even James Carville admits that they are annoying and repulsive, driving what remains of centrists away. I mean, yeah, this screaming hysteria. We could just go through even Elizabeth Warren and Ilmar and Tlaib. I mean, we've just seen a great exhibition of it. Even Nancy Pelosi, I mean, all of them, all ages. You see it, right in front of you. So perhaps their sugar daddies were too busy to teach them civility, no spitting and screaming, little lady, and discipline them properly, but the awful spectator of a wealth transfer to liberal women is truly problematic. I was like, wow, I actually never saw it in that light. So I thought that was interesting, and it's important for us to recognize who we're dealing with, I suppose. Yeah, so we were talking at the beginning of Khomeini and Mamdani and how similar they sound and Obama, when they talk about the importance of Islam in America. Now, what they're doing in America presently, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of this, in our children's school system, they're very much in the process of wanting to change the history books. And one of the things, well, a couple of things that they're doing with the books is they're saying that, this is a good one, Rod, and I know you're going to jump in on this.
Uh-oh.
Yes, yeah. They're saying 1/3 of all slaves in the U.S. were Muslim slaves.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Now, these are little kids that don't really, they're just being taught history, right?
So,
Yeah.
so here's the problem with that with that complete statement, right? That they're calling themselves trying to teach people. Islam had not gone farther south than present-day Mauritania, right? We got to remember.
Right.
We got to remember, right?
They went to Africa, right?
We had the relationship with Morocco, right? We still do. It's the longest standing treaty of the United States with any other country. They were Muslim, right? But the Sultan didn't participate in the slave trade or any of that. He forbade it, right? So in order for someone to claim that the slaves that came over to the Americas were Muslim, you need to prove to me the conquest that happened south of Mauritania or south of the country of Western Africa. Better yet, show me the conqueror of Ghana. Because even the Muslims called them savages.
That's right.
Down
right.
there. So if they were Muslim, please show me where the conquest of Ghana, the Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, right? Show me that conquest. Because as of today, all of those countries are Christian-based countries.
Right. And they're still trying to kill everyone there. I mean, they're wild men. So So, okay, so you take these little kids and you teach them this, and that's what they know. Now they're trying to remove Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? The Alamo was influenced by Islam, and the greatest writers were Muslim.
Wait. The conquistadors were Muslim?
That's what they're saying.
Oh, holy shit, Batman. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I know.
The conquistadors were Roman Catholics.
I know. Do you see what they're doing here?
Oh my God.
They are twisting the brains of our children in the school system.
Can I go slap a school administrator or three right now? I'll go to their house and slap them. Like right now.
Get on those school boards, people. It's really starting right there.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, and it's really happening. And I guess Texas is going to be the first. Well, I think Florida too. You know, there's a lot coming on board for us as well in the next election and in the primaries in terms of Sharia. You have to understand that the second you allow Sharia into your community, because you're so kind and you're so nice and you're so tolerant and you're not a racist and you're a good person, they're going to stomp all over you like a wet dish rag, and they're going to own your children's minds.
Yep.
And teach them this shit, and they're going to grow up and say, well, no. And they're going to start reading the Quran to them, and they're going to start teaching them the basic ideologies, and our kids are going to get more and more confused. And confusion leads to drug abuse, mistreatment, screaming, spitting, chaos, protests, killings. We can go down the line where all this leads. It's an invasion.
Oh, speaking of that, God, you just brought up something that happened to me earlier today. I kind of pushed it to the side because I didn't, you know what I mean? I'm not, you know me, I'm not that type of person to like highlight some sort of conflict. I'm just like, I just moved on. But since you brought that up,
okay.
So I happen to find myself in this town up here called Beverly Hills, and I happen to find myself in the Winn-Dixie up there in Beverly Hills. And you know, I got out the truck and had on my, you know, my American flag shirt that I wear on the show, you know, the red, white, and blue with the stars on the shoulders, all that stuff. And I was listening to one of my audiobooks as I'm walking in the store. So I'm going to grab a couple things real quick, you know, what have you. And they're selling Girl Scout cookies at the exit. So,
yeah,
you know, so I walk out. Girls was like, hey, we're selling. I said, honey, I looked at the little girl. I said, honey, look. I was like, I've already got 4 boxes. The 5th box is going to give me like some sort of high blood sugar. I can't do a 5th box, right? They just laughed at me, right? Well, the lady behind me didn't take it too kindly. She's like, what did you mean by that? And I looked at her. I was like, why are you in my business? She's like, that was an awful thing to say. I was talking about me.
Right.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them. When did you get in my conversation? She came out of her mouth, I swear, you conservative men. I said, and you dumb bitches don't know how to mind your fucking business. I sure did. Everybody said I sucked the air out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
I looked at her. She said, shut the fuck up. I said, I'm not the motherfucker to talk to around here. I said, you must be not from round here. I said, because down here, we'll tell a bitch about herself and don't care. Fuck all that shit you talking about. This conversation was none of your business, and you decided to butt your ass into it. So butt your ass out and take your ass home. So I damn sure did. Sucked every bit of the oxygen out the fucking parking lot. So I don't play with nobody like that. I don't get in your business. Don't get in my business. But as soon as you put your ass in my business, I will tell you about it, smack it, and push you out there. Yeah.
Did she back down, Rod? Did she back down?
Man, this fire flame pink haired woman, oh my God. She had so much to say under her breath. I said, why don't you say it out loud?
Yeah.
Say it out loud. I said, are you afraid that the black man might slap the taste out your mouth because I don't put up with grown folk in my business? Do you know where the fuck you at?
Uh-oh.
Yep, I sure did. She walked up, and I said, yeah, go your ass over there. I ain't got time for that.
I know.
I ain't got no time for that.
Yeah, they think they're so big and tough with their big mouths, and then they back off quick. That's the thing. You know, they're really weak. I mean, they don't have anything.
But the nerve of her to say, you conservative man, bitch, you don't know what the fuck I am because I got a flag on my body means I got to be a conservative?
No, she thought you were going to just laugh it off and walk away.
Man, shit.
Yeah, that's what she thought.
Shit, you in the land where you might get snatched by the unlikely neighbor and not be seen again. We got gators around here.
Yeah, and I got a noose.
She said it. She said it. I'm just saying, like, don't get in people. This is why we get along so well in the South. You mind your business on your side, I mind my business on my side, right? Because there's one thing that's damn sure free is minding your business. That pays you. Your business.
Well,
I don't pay you.
Taught her a lesson. You just taught her a lesson. She's not going to say anything after this. You fixed her ass.
Look, we all got to fix these people. They think they have they think they have the audacity, right? And it kind of goes to the thing. They think they take that I am woman, hear me roar, gives them carte blanche to say whatever the hell you want. You better stay in your lane. Huh? With your little bicycle with the little hang on. Oh, you better stay over there at that bicycle. Don't come over here.
You know, I'm really just so fascinated with how this will go going forward in the future. Like all these loud liberal women that were a big part of the feminist movement. How's it going to go down? If and when or if
resist.
A 1979 fiasco like happened in Iran, where would they be? Where would they be?
Look, look, can I be evil a second? I'm going to be real evil. They will be the first women that get put in burqas and hijabs.
That's right.
And they would do it on their own volition. I guess we got to fit in and show our solidarity with women. Nah, show your face if you want to. You just can't take that off. They be the first one to sign up for the burqa, huh? I mean, let's keep it real. They're roaring so loud. They're out here defending people that would put the burqa and the hijab on their head.
Well, you know, I was reading today a section called After the Revolution, because I looked up Iranian women, because I really, I have a desire now to understand this whole thing, because obviously you look at how is this going to affect us in our country. So in 1979, women rallied against the hijab. It was not just a complete quiet takeover. They really got out there and rallied. Soon after taking power, Iran's new supreme leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, decreed that all women had to wear the veil, regardless of religion or nationality.
Right.
Now listen to this date. Everybody pay attention. On the 8th of March. What's today's date? The 3rd? Okay. On the 8th of March, International Women's Day, thousands of women from all walks of life turned out to protest against the law. I'm hearing on the news, on the good news, that we're going to see a big escalation in the next couple of weeks with what's going on over there. Pay attention to March 8th, because I think Trump is very much working on the numbers and the days and the years and the months. So what would, here's a good question, because we have a lot of gay people in this country, men, women, bis, whatever they are. I can't keep up with it all. There's so many. What would gay men, what would they do in a rally like this? Are they women or are they men? Which side would they take if the hijab had to go on?
We're men. We're men. Oh my God,
That's
we're
right.
men.
Right. Let me show you what I got. Yeah, right? The truth would come out quickly.
Yeah, they'd whip that motherfucker out. See, I got a dangalang. But you know what they do to people like that in Islamic republics, right? They use them as their community whores.
Yeah.
The same way, unfortunately, they do those kids over there the same way, right? The ones that dress up like girls, they'll treat those grown ass men the same way. That's
No, they'll turn them into those eunuchs.
They could do that too.
Eunuchs,
They could
chop
do
it
that
off
too.
and put them to work for the masters, for their new masters. Wow, could you picture their heads exploding with that information? So, okay, so here's a question, Rod. Tell me your thoughts on this.
Okay.
How were the men when this was happening in 1979? Where were their heads at? Who were they siding with? And I know that this movement did not just take in and scoop up everybody. There
Right.
were factions, there were fights, there were people who resisted. It was like any other movement. But where were the men in this particular fight, this part of the battle, which was the women getting veiled and being locked in their homes and not being able to go out alone and all the freedoms we love in this country? Where were the men in this? I can't really find.
So the men, if I remember correctly, the men self-exiled. They left the country. A lot of them came to the States. I'm speaking off the top of my head. Y'all can fact check me, but I think right when that happened, a lot of the men fled because they were targets by the Ayatollah. They were targets.
Exactly.
The men specifically would have been targets. Right? Because remember when Ayatollah took over initially, he killed about 150,000 people.
That's right.
Right? And the majority of those were men. And then what they do, they turn on, open the borders and let men in from these Islamic countries to integrate with the Persians.
Right.
Right. And that's the part that really kills me when I hear people talking about this on social media and this whole thing about Iran. And, well, if that was the case, we've been in war for 40 years, then why didn't you speak up? I said, motherfuckers, we're speaking up. They were talking about this the whole damn time. You was probably people like Matt Walsh. Y'all were in fucking diapers. They need these young kids need to sit their ass down and let us old heads handle this shit. Because we've been talking about this shit
forever.
While y'all were pissing around in your leaky ass, overbloated diapers in the fucking sand in your front yard of your trailer, we over here talking about real shit. So they can all
look
take
at the protests. Look at the protests that just happened.
Yeah.
In Iran. I mean, it was deadly.
Yep.
It was horrible. They were chopping people's heads off for protesting. There was blood and dead bodies everywhere. This was just in January.
Right. But you know what, though? You know what really kills me, Miss Val? And for a people, right, and I'm going to talk about our fellow conservatives at large a second, right? Especially the ones that call themselves defecting and saying, oh, we're controlled by Israel and all that shit, right?
Right.
I need people to understand this. And those of you in the comments, you need to take notes or open up your Bible, because this has already been written, and so-called Christians that are in the conservative, air quote, conservative movement haven't really read their Bible. Because you would have known Cyrus the Great was the one that freed the Jews from Nebuchadnezzar from Babylon. You would have known this. The only non-Gentile that was written in the Old Testament, right, as the anointed one, the Messiah, as referred in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, if I remember correctly, is a Mashiach. Because he freed God's people and let them go back to Jerusalem to rebuild their temple. This relationship between Persia and Israel is deeper than whatever shit these so-called Christians are talking about. Now, you can hate, again, you can dislike what the Israeli government is doing and all of that, but one thing you will not do is bastardize Christianity in the face of the history that is written in that damn book.
Correct.
You false freaking prophets.
Yep.
I mean, Esther,
Esther.
right? Esther, right? Her story takes place in Susa in Persia. She married the king.
Mm-hmm. And boy, did she get information that was worthy of the change and the shift, and she saved her people.
100%.
Everybody should read the book of Esther. Reread it because it's very enlightening.
This is when I hear conservatives raging about this, I Ms. Val, literally, I lose my cool on a lot, but when it comes to this, I lose my cool, because one thing these people will not do, the Democrats and all these godless people already bastardized the Bible. Now we got conservatives not even knowing the history between these two countries. No, absolutely not. Go read your Bible, or go back to church again. That's what you need to do. You need to take your ass back to church. Is what you need to do. Don't pretend to be a once a season church warrior, because obviously if you're mad, you haven't read it, and you're making yourself look bad. What's that?
The problem is they don't want to read it. You know, how will we establish, even inspire people to want to read this information based on the fact that it could change and shift their lives in a way they never expected?
Right.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
They're so far gone. We've got generations of people, not so much the younger people anymore, but there's this 20-year gap right now that's dangerous. And they don't want to know.
Right.
Because they think they know it all.
Right.
They've been convinced that they're in the right movement, and they're thinking the way the CCP and the Iranian media has taken their minds and trained them to see. I thank God for the older Cubans that are here, and the older Venezuelans that are here, Brazilians, people that know what happened and really come out and speak the truth, because there's no other way to get this through to some people. I mean, maybe they're just going to fall right into the trap. I don't know. They're just going to give up and go with the flow and try to live.
Right.
That's what's scary about the whole thing.
Yes, it is 100%. I mean, when we have our fellow Americans already lost in the sauce when it's come to all this, and it's creating this outrage over the whole Israel thing and all that stuff.
Come on, get with it.
I don't even want them to get with it, Miss Val. It's a false schism, right?
Yes.
That they're creating in their mind, right? Because the divinity itself will correct it. Right? Divinity itself will correct it. And these people, they're going to be left. It's like literally, it's like we're looking at modern day Peters.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at right now. And
That's
I said what
true.
I said. I said exactly what I said. We're looking at modern day Peters. What did Peter do? Denied Jesus 3 times, didn't he?
That's right.
And this is what I feel is happening when we're talking about the history of the Jews and the kingdom of Judah. When we talk about this, I feel like these people act like Peter and dance around the point, but have a nerve to sit in the pew in your LDS church or your Baptist church or your Lutheran church calling yourself a Christian and haven't read the Old Testament. Like, don't fake the funk.
You know how it's coming out right now? It's coming out with people saying, oh, look at Trump. He's working with Netanyahu and Israel. Those bastards. Oh, why don't you take the easy route and just blame everything on the Jews again? That's so fucking easy to do.
Yep.
God, when are these people going to just rise above all of this crap already and see the garbage for what it is?
But again, this is the problem right here. This is the problem, right? Because out of the 3 Abrahamic religions, right? Think about where all the dogma's coming from. It's coming from Christians and it's coming from Islamists, right?
Well, you have to understand, though, and people have to understand that the especially Catholic Bible was so altered and so messed with that there's so much misinformation. You have to really seek the truth of the word.
That's right.
You have to go back to what Yeshua Christ actually was and learned, and how he took in all the Buddhist principles and the principles of India and turned them into this beautiful, magnificent Christianity balloon. And it got lost in the men. I have to say the men. I do have to say that in this moment, because I believe that the priests and the people that came after, I'll use his name, Jesus died. But he said, I'm not doing anything. You can all be better than I am. You can all do anything you want because God is inside of all of us. We possess it. If you can get your hands on the real word of Yeshua Christ, you will see that they could not allow the woman, Mary, to be a part of the religion. They had to control the woman and the women. Control the women. Gee, does that sound a little bit like Iran? I mean, I'm just thinking. Now, I will also say that the religious Jewish people also separate women when they're in synagogue. They separate them. They can't sit near each other because, God forbid, a man should be tempted to look at a woman's leg. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Show me your legs, Val. Show me your legs, Val. Come on.
I will. I don't have a problem with that. People really need to take a look at what our true nature is and who we are as human beings, and seek the truth of the real word that Christ prophesied, because it was so beautiful and it was so enlightening. It saddens me deeply that we cannot turn into human beings as we would love to. We can't trust anybody anymore. We can't live in peace anymore. Maybe we will. I still have hope. I will never give up hope. I look at what Donald Trump is doing right now, our Board of Peace, surrounding the countries of Iran with people that are saying, we've had enough of your shit. And I look at the people in Africa who are starving, and I look at the people in this country who have all taken this horrible poisonous vaccine into their bodies, and we've been poisoned by the food chain. And I see this eruption of positivity and things happening all around us that could just burst all this crap open.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But they don't even teach people to critically think when they read or what they're reading. They just say, "Oh nope, that's it. That's the scripture. That's the quote. That's it." What happened? What was said before and after that you're extrapolating that from? Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? We know people do that shit all the time. It's like, okay, we got to bring the whole context. The whole conversation before that was this, and then that was said. What do you think that meant?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, I'm tired.
And trying to figure out, parables and the way things were written in that time is a little bit difficult for the new thinker to grasp hold of what meaning was. You just have to keep reading things over and over, and almost every day you'll have a different interpretation.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Hey, we got to roll out of here. I didn't realize what time it was. My golly gee willikers. Oh, my God. We've ran into the time. Miss Val, thank you as always.
You're welcome.
And I want to thank everybody in the live studio audience and in the chat and on the airwaves. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. All that good stuff. Hopefully you got some great information from the conversation. Again, if you have any questions, inquiries, concerns, you can always leave it in the comments on the video here on Patreon or YouTube. Or Rumble, right? Or best way to get a hold of me is through the Patreon, patreon.com/TOLM. No, TOLMF. Yeah, TOLM. I gotta remember if there's the DNs on it, but it's not. It's TOLMF. Make sure you stop by. All that stuff. I have some research papers I'm gonna be posting this week that I've finally gotten through after I corroborated information. So a couple of things are coming up. So again, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, love your neighbors, love your family, but ultimately, love yourself. Peace and love, everyone.